Hey, what's up, my Dragon Legion? How y'all been? And for today's deck profile video, I got a little something going on with my Amber Dragons. Now, I know not too long ago, I said I was going to be doing one last huzzah, whatever I said about them. But shockingly, with or without Dauntless Drive Dragon, the Amber Dragons are actually still pretty good. Yes, you probably do still need the Dauntless in order for them to even stand strong in this format of how Vanguard is and all that such. But again, shockingly, the way how Amber Dragons are, it's still pretty good. The deck still rolls well, it still gets this stuff going, and as long as it's in the hands of the right Vanguard player, the Amber Dragons can still do, well, what Amber Dragons do best, and go off with some curious such right here. So, without further ado, let's get to the deck profile, shall we? Start off with your starting Vanguard, Amber Dragon Dawn. Probably this guy, you have to play this guy when you're playing Amber Dragons. I've actually done test plays with Kagero with this deck before, and it actually doesn't really work out. I mean, don't get me wrong, Kagero can still work. There is a potential possibility where you can have like both Kagero and Amber Dragon Dawn in this deck, whatever such. But I mean, it can work if you do that. However, you don't want to do that if you're gonna make Kagero as your starting Vanguard. You're better off with just using Dawn. Dawn is your ideal Vanguard, starting Vanguard when you play this deck right here. So, because you especially need that ability to get to your grade 2 Amber Dragon, so you can do with your still the Amber Dragon as fast as possible. Because if you start off with Kagero, a lot of your things are going to start off really slow, shockingly. So Amber Dragon Dawn, as I just explained. And for your trigger lineup. Now, if you will remember, for the past while or so, I've been doing the 8 critical and 6 draw build right here. Oh no, 8 critical and 4 draw. My apologies. Now, since we're doing Amber Dragons, we're now going to be doing the... We're finally going back to the 6 critical and the 6 draw lineup. We're back to doing that again. Now, the reason why you do this with the Amber Dragons is that since Amber Dragon does not really get in his attack that well as always, again, unless you have Dauntless Drive Dragon going on this deck right here, you kind of need your draw triggers in order to get to your stuff so you can get to your perfect guards up better. Since you're not going to be playing Kagero, since Kagero is not going to be your starting Vanguard no more, you're going to need something to get your perfect guards and your other good Kageros in particular, so you can do some other such and help you defend off your Vanguard a little bit longer, so you can potentially go in for that attack again. So the draw triggers are pretty necessary at 6/6 right here, and you see the criticals just fine as long as you roll this deck properly. So the 6/6 is still good in my eyes. And of course, as expected, your 4 heals. That's never going to change unless there's a format that says otherwise. And for your grade 1s, if I can get to my stuff faster, here we go. Your ideal Vanguard grade 1 for Amber Dragon Daylight. Sorry for moving a lot. I'm just making sure the camera sees the stuff well, and it does. Okay. This guy is your ideal starting Vanguard, and even as a rear guard, he's actually really good. Obviously, you use his Vanguard. Obviously, you need this guy as your first grade 1 Vanguard, so you can go over your combos and eventually use your Dawn's effect so you can get your dust to your hand as fast as possibly can. And other than that, Daylight is actually pretty good because when you call him to a separate grade 1, a separate rear guard circle, if you have a spare grade 3 Kagero that you're willing to ditch, like an extra of this guy that you don't need, an extra Dragonic Overlord, an extra Dauntless Drive Dragon, if this deck does have Dauntless Drive Dragon, if I could get my hands on some Dauntless Drive Dragons, and some other generic stuff, so your hand doesn't clog up with some grade 3s, and you can get your triggers out faster when you do your drive checks. The 4 bars, no explanation you need here. 4 wide Vanguard bar arrays, no explanation needed there. Your perfect guards, gotta have your perfect guards. And your 3 Dragonbone Gojos. Dragonbone Gojo, he's really good because he's not only a decent booster, But when you when you use this ability to rest a card, to pitch a card, or draw a card, shockingly it does end up pretty good because you get to do your stuff a lot faster. And the one thing that does sting about this deck right here is, as I mentioned about the whole grade 3 thing that I was talking about with Daylight a lot, as much as how good Amber Dragon Eclipse is, you really only need Amber Dragon Eclipse as your starting Vanguard. Once your Vanguard becomes your Amber Dragon Eclipse, all your other Eclipses become immediately useless. And this guy can help you pitch your extra Eclipses to get to do some of your stuff that you actually do need and such. So that's why I run Dragon Ball Gojo. And even if I don't use his ability, again, like I just explained, he's not a bad booster. Not as good as a bar, but he's definitely a backup booster for when I don't have bar and I got this guy instead. So that right there was your grade 1s. There we go, I gotta speed up a little bit. For your grade 3s, oh, no, my apologies. I'm way ahead of my schedule. For your grade 2s, we have 4 copies of your Amber Dragon Dust. Amber Dragon Dust, he's your ideal grade 2 Vanguard. Once he becomes your Vanguard, he definitely gives your Eclipse the additional 1000 power, which actually does kind of matter in some way when you're playing with this deck right here. And until you get to your Eclipses, he's actually not a bad card. As long as you have this guy in your soul while he is your Vanguard, he becomes a 12 beater while he swings at your opponent, which is actually really, really good in my perspective opinion. What I was thinking about doing in the near future is possibly cut this guy from 4 to 2 right here. Now I know that seems a little bit strange, and I know the Amber Dragons do need as much Amber Dragons as they possibly can. Now my theory is doing this is, look at Shadow Paladins, what they've done with Blaster Dark. Most Shadow Paladin players who play the standard Shadow Paladin deck only ran 2 Blaster Darks, if not only 1, because it worked out just fine, and they had a lot of synergy when they had someone like this getting their blaster into their hands as fast as possible. And my theory is, maybe the same theory could potentially work out with this deck right here. And by doing so, if it does work out, I can actually cut 2 of these guys out for other grade 2 Kageros that could actually help me out. So 2 Amber Dragon, so for now, 4 Amber Dragon Eclipses, or 4 Amber Dragon Dusts, I apologize. So 4 Amber Dragon Dusts, 2 Bellicossi Dragons, because you're going to be doing some counterblasting with Berserk Dragon and your Amber Dragon Eclipse. So it does make a little bit sense to have this guy right here. Every time his attack is hit on your opponent's Vanguard, you take a card that's face down damage, turn face up, so you can do more counterblasting and do some more specs. So Bellicossi is pretty good. 2 Berserk Dragons, he's really good. Helps you take out that 1 grade 2 or lower rear guard that you don't like to deal with. So this guy is pretty good when you got him going. And to finish all the grade 2s, we have 2 Dragon Knight Nahalms. He's a decent beater. In case you don't get your grade 3s other than your Eclipses, he's kind of your ideal rear guard that you want to have to help you beat down some stuff a lot easier. Nahalm is pretty good. You just need 2 vanillas. With the way how this deck rolls, as I just mentioned, I don't really need 2. But if my theory is correct about the Amber Dragon Dusts and such, I may end up taking the 2 Amber Dragon Dusts out to add the other 2 Dragon Knight Nahalms, so I can add down more beatdown to my opponent. Because this deck kind of doesn't really have that much power besides Amber Dragon Eclipse right here and Dual X Archdragon. So you kind of need a little bit of something to add a little bit more power in, even if you do put in Dauntless Drive Dragon. So 2 Nahalms, but for now 2 Nahalms is just fine. And that's it for grade 2s. Finally, your actual grade 3s. We have your ideal Vanguard, 4 Amber Dragon Eclipses, Counterblast 2 every time his attack is a hit, Counterblast 2 before you go to your attack battle phase, whatever. And if his attack is a hit when you do choose to use his effect, you can retire 2 of your opponent's rear guards, which actually does put a lot of pressure down your opponent. Because when you go off his effect right here, when you pay your 2 Counterblasts before you go to your attack phase, whatever such, it does force your opponent to guard all this guy as fast as possible, so you don't get that ability in. Because if you do get this ability in, you will be taking out some serious options away from your opponent. So 4 Amber Dragons is really good. But again, as I explained earlier, he's really awesome if he's your Vanguard, but he's not that great if he's your rear guard. All he is when he's your rear guard, it's just a random 10,000 beater. I mean, I'll call an extra one of him if I have to, if I feel if I have to go, if I see that if I have to do this, so I can put more pressure down on my opponent and keep on attacking. But other than that, I see him. Once I have one on the board, I see him as nothing else used as more the Vanguard, unless you have a beater or something like such. Next, I play 2-tech Dragonic Overlord at the end. He's a really good Kagero as a rear guard right here. Counterblast 3 cards, and he could just swing your opponent's rear guards and go for the Vanguard. And when that happens, your opponent won't have that many rear guards to guard off or intercept with. Well, intercept with, I should be more specific. Your opponent won't have any grade 2s to intercept against you when you attack with your Amber Dragon Clipses. So this guy does put some pressure on the board. I mean, you won't be able to use this effect right here, but worst case scenario, you just use him as a discard cost for your Amber Dragon Daylight. Worst case scenario. And to kick off the deck, 2 Dual X Arch Dragons. Now, I know you're not gonna be able to use ability that much, but the potential of having that ability to happen, where he gains 3,000, when he gains 3,000 while he's attacking and such, is actually pretty good. And if things do go your way with your Amber Dragons, I think you could potentially use this effect right here. You could just use your Amber Dragon Clipses, kill all the rear guards along with Berserk Dragon, and then have your front row guys kill your opponent's front row, and then eventually this guy does have the amount of power you want to be. Alright everyone, that right there was my Amber Dragon deck profile. It's not really that much different since the last time we've done the deck profile about this. The one good thing that is really good about this deck right here is that for once, there is actually no proxies, which makes me very, very happy. I can finally say I have a legitimate Amber Dragon deck for once in a while. But holy crap, it took me to a big format for that to happen. Yay! I suck at this. So Amber Dragons has gone through quite a bit of changes for a little bit. And as I mentioned, once I get my hands on some Dauntless Drive Dragons, I'll definitely be taking out my Dual X Arch Dragons and maybe at least one of these guys along with the Overlord or 2, so I can make some room with Dauntless Drive Dragons. Or I may end up just keeping the 4th one and just stick with all 4 and just play with just 3 Dauntless Drive Dragons and either a Dual X Arch Dragon or a Dragonic Overlord. I apologize. So this deck is still the same as, well, the Amber Dragons with the attack of the Overlord. So let me know what you all think about this deck profile in the comment section down below, and I'll see you all around. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like if you did, favorite if you love this video, and subscribe today to become part of the Dragon Legion Alliance. And I'll see you guys another day. Christian Dragoon, signing out. Peace.